Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jake Bryan with the Content Creator Radio. I want to say happy Friday. Hope you guys are having a awesome day so far. So today I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of keep you guys up to date in what is the latest and greatest in the content creator slash photographer news. So, first thing we're going to be covering is photographer asked to shoot a 10-hour wedding for free in exchange for exposure to couple's 300 guests. You already know where this is going. So, for those of you who are new at photography, you're just interested, many times photographers will be asked to shoot an entire wedding or do work for free all the time for what's called exposure, where they expect people to basically make money by not making money and shooting for free, so to speak, and then hoping they book other clients. Now, there's a major problem with this because if you're at a event or something and you're shooting, why would anyone want to hire you if you're already not getting paid in the first place? It's very rare that stuff actually works. So what they're saying in the article here is that the photographer was told basically like, hey, out of the 300 guests, 117 of them are married. We have over 300 wedding guests, 196 are based in this area. 117 of the unmarried guests between the ages of 24 to 35. We have 73 parents with unmarried children between the ages of 24 to 35. And basically, it's basically like saying this. Like, hey, Publix, if you give me a whole bunch of food and pay for all of my groceries, I'm going to put you on my story, on my Instagram story to my 12,000 followers. Is Publix going to do that? Probably not. Why? Because they have a product and they have experience. And what people do is they will undermine photography as a, lower class job or whatever. But people see photography and they don't think, oh, we should probably pay them what they're worth. Like, you wouldn't ask a catering company usually to come to your wedding and come for exposure. They still have costs of goods, right? They still have to pay for all the things that it takes to make the meals, all the things that it takes to pay all the people and all the food provided. It's the same thing with a photographer. It's whether you're shooting video or photo, it's literally the exact same thing. You buy all this stuff, all this gear, thousands of dollars worth of gear, or hundreds if you're at the beginning or whatever, and that's still your gear. Like, you had to spend a lot of money on that. And that's not even including your time, the 200 plus hours that it took just to learn how to do all of this stuff the right way with posing and stuff. So unfortunately, photography gets treated a lot less like a normal job and a lot more like a hobby or something that should be expected. So next thing for all my video creators out there, exciting update for Adobe Pro Productions features. Now, I am still trying to understand what all this stuff means, but one of the new things that they are adding into this program, drumroll please, we are getting multiple editors available to edit the same project locally. So what they're saying is multiple products can work on different projects within the same production. Project locking prevents editing collisions while still allowing access to view and copy out media. Render files are also shared, cutting down on the duplicate render time, and all of this shared workflow can be tracked via the production panel, providing a convenient way to keep tabs on progress. That is so stinking cool because anybody who wants to outsource, that's just a great tool to be able to have that. That's just super helpful. Now, something that's more relevant to what I've been talking about more lately is professional photographers are now offering more camera phone courses. And so before we get into that, I know how a lot of photographers feel about this. A lot of photographers feel like we shouldn't have this. We shouldn't really have a ton of people shooting on their phones and it needs to be just DSLRs and just mirrorless. But I think one of the other things that we've been telling ourselves for a while is, hey, we need to keep up to date in all the newest, latest and greatest things that we should be doing on our shoots and stuff. But what about the rest of the industry? Because in my personal opinion, if you don't agree, that's fine. But in my opinion, I feel like we need to be keeping up with the times. I feel like the phones on our cameras, or the cameras on our phones just sound, they look awesome. and there's a lot of new features that are in there coming in all the time. And I'm not saying that we should start having full-time professional photographers, because the photos are just still, they're still not there yet. The depth is still not there. The detail is not there for professionalism. But overall, it is so much easier for people to create feeds. And I'm going to tell you this a little, I'm going to tell you guys just a little bit of a secret here. It really helps if you know what your market is, because you can go to where they are if you're selling products. So say you're working with different companies, start making products that are made also for the phones. If you make different, I don't know, maybe you make presets, or maybe you teach people on a course or something. This seems to sell a lot better now, because this is what people have easy access to. They're spending $1,000 on a phone, and they're kind of looking, why do I need to pay for a $400 camera? And in their mind, it doesn't make any sense to buy a new camera. So another thing that kind of links to the whole thing with Premiere is apparently Vimeo is about to start offering a whole bunch of new things, apparently. So they've now added the ability to be able to add effects, titles, transitions, and more by using some of the templates that they've created. And the effects they've made introduce the features. They look great, apparently. These same effects had to be done manually in Premiere Pro and After Effects, and it would have taken some serious time. Now, there is something to be said for templates, and I think that's pretty exciting that Vimeo is coming out with something, just because it can be a lot of work in Premiere to do some work. When it comes to just something very simple or very well designed, it does take a while. So I honestly feel like templates are a pretty good way to go with if Vimeo is coming out with some of that stuff. Now, I don't use Vimeo personally, but something I've been thinking about, and I know there's a lot of people that do. So that's just something interesting worth looking into. One more thing. How to ensure your lens is as sharp as it can be without a tool. I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but I remember being a Canon user, and I didn't have the best lenses. I didn't have a lot of money, and how would I put it? Just didn't have a lot of money. Yeah. And my photos would always look soft, and people would be like, oh, that's probably just part of your work. And I was like, yeah. Not realizing, it was probably my lens, and I probably need to fix this. Now, I had a DSLR at the time, and I now have a Sony a7 III, so I don't really have those same issues. But apparently, so for all of you DSLR users out there, this is apparently a little trick you can use with the calibration tool, I guess. There's some way to calibrate it. There's some videos out there. Has to do with, obviously, the autofocus. And I guess if you calibrate it right, it's a great way to increase the overall sharpness for your photos. So now we've talked about all of these different little things. I think I've caught you guys up to date. That is my job around here. If there's anything I missed, please let me know. So when we were talking about the weddings thing, I want to go back to my first wedding. All right. I showed up to my first wedding, and I had a shot list. I thought I knew what was going on, and just ran it the best I could with the second shooter. And I remember getting all those photos done, right? And I had I think it was 400, 800 photos to go through. And it took me almost 20 hours just to get through every single one of those photos and then edit them. I would edit everything, and then I would have to go back in and re-edit it and re-edit and re-edit and re-edit. And oh my goodness, it was just a long process. Now, no one really wants to deal with that, right? And I think what we all do is we kind of figure out what we want, we kind of copy that, and we paste it onto whatever other photo that we're doing, at least for wedding photographers and portrait shooters or whatever. And that's where I created my first preset, and I was like, wait, what? Wow, I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know what a preset was. And so I started putting in my photos, and then I realized something. Now, this is really interesting, because I was like, wait a second. Photographers always charge so much for editing. Why is that? Check this out. I realized every photographer needs a foundation for editing. And what I mean by that is that as soon as you get your photos imported into Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever, you need to have somewhere to start. Starting from scratch every time is just it's not time efficient, and it's not really considerate of your own time at all. But when you think about it this way, if you had 8 different presets and 8 different looks that you could throw on every single photo that are pretty much as far out as that photo is going to get, if you could look at each of those and figure out your editing, I realized that would only take you a couple minutes. Now, that was 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, somewhere around there. And now, so I actually went out and created this huge preset pack to be able to actually help you guys with the editing foundations, which is like orange and teal, like the golden look, natural stuff for interior design and real estate, all that kind of thing. All those things just jam-packed into one preset pack. And this is how it's changed me. I've literally been able to start taking 200 to 400 photos and have them done in about less than an hour. And it's crazy because I used to take 20 hours, 20 times faster. And then when it comes to just like a normal basic photo shoot, it only takes me about 10 to 30 minutes just to get all those photos edited. It's super quick, super easy. And I'm going to be releasing something very special here in the next couple days for you guys to actually get you guys a huge discount on some of this stuff. Pay attention, coming soon. So in the next few days, there's going to be something really exciting coming out with this this preset pack. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. It'll be out, I think, sometime next. It'll be like officially launched by next week. So you guys will definitely hear it on either one of the 2 next podcasts. I'm super excited for you guys to check that out. Today's a little bit more of a shorter one, I guess. But I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Content Creator Radio. I will see you guys on the next one. Hey guys, just want to say a quick thank you for checking out the Content Creator Radio. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button and listen on all your favorite platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Until next time, I'll see you in the next podcast.
I swear I like your style. Put you in Chanel cause it's just perfect for your smile. Girl, I swear for you I run the world, I'd run the miles. The way you